cause you in sorrow. Never meant to cause you in pain. I want one time to feel like it. Only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only want to see you bathing in the purple rain. I never want to be your weekend lover. I want to be some kind of friend. Yeah. Baby, I can never steal you from another. It's such a shame our friendship had to end. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only want to see you underneath the purple rain. And I know, times are changing. It's time we all reach out for you. That means you do. You say you won't leave us, but you can't seem to make me mine. I think you better close and let me guide you to the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Yeah. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. All I want to be you, all I want to be you in your purple rain. Y'all, I couldn't go ahead and go no more because when it gets to that guitar part, I get really upset. And he knows that he was like, "Baby, don't get upset, don't get upset." That's why y'all almost caught me crying. So yes, this song, I couldn't put it in the beginning because I know if I would have did this at the beginning, I wouldn't have been able to do this song. People always thought that Purple Rain was about him and an ex-girlfriend. It's not. It's about relationship, that a connection with his daughter that tragically ended. That's why you see him, getting upset, wiping his face, trying not to cry. Wendy about trying not to cry, and I'm trying not to watch them cry, so it's gonna break me down. But when he was talking about I never steal you from, didn't want a weekend lover. He was with me for that weekend, only 3 days when I was born, until DFS came and got me. So he was saying that he could never steal me from another. My adopted father was very threatened by his presence, just because the fact is the daughter he adopted wants to be just like her biological father. Yeah. So he was feeling very threatened by that. You know, anytime my dad wanted to see me for the holidays or even just to fly out for the weekend, he would never allow that. When he started seeing I was getting more and more obsessed about my dad, as he said, you know, because I wanted to play the piano, I wanted to play the guitar and all these things. He felt like, you know what, he's trying to take my daughter away. You know, he even said, wrote letters begging them, you know, let her, you know, y'all can come stay with me. You don't have to pay anything. I just want to see my daughter. But the lifestyle he was living at that time, my adopted father didn't want me exposed to stuff like that. And he was just like, I can't have her around that stuff. So, you know, with him being a threat to him, well, he's feeling like he's threatened by his presence. He severed that bond. He was just like, no, you cannot call anymore. He made us move, you know, in case he tried to find out where I stayed, and he changed the phone number. So it was just like, I've been trying to do this. You know, I try to, you know, I usually tell y'all the introduction at the beginning, but when it comes to this song, it's so hard to sing. And, you know, forgive me for messing up at the end, but it's just like, I done did this about 50 times, and I try not to get emotional. And, you know, I've been getting frustrated because any other song, I don't really mess up like that. But when it comes to this one, it makes me very emotional. So that is basically what the song is about. Anytime I'm like, I feel sad or I really want to be around my dad, this song constantly plays. It's like before I even figured out what was going on before he passed, I would hear the song all the time. And he was just like, listen to the song. And I'm just like, okay, I'll listen to it, you know. And I really never knew the true meaning behind it. And he was just trying to tell me this song is about us, you know, our connection. That, you know, I used to always, if I couldn't be around him, I would always every single night dream about him until those dreams stopped, you know, the connection stopped. So when you can see his demeanor change and everything like that, and that's the reason behind, you know, the song. I always hold it dear to me, but it's like, this is kind of like a healing song. He called this my healing song. You know, he wants me to reach out to something new, look at it in a different perspective, see us with that connection. This is what that bond is about. See it, be able to believe in it, you know. So, you know, I usually tell y'all at the beginning what this song is about, this and this and that, but is this really, this song is just very heartbreaking to me, and I'm trying not to cry, because when you lose a father or a mother, you know, just losing a loved one is already hard, but just being able to know, you know, in your mind that you have known your parent the whole time. And it was just like I always told my adopted dad, my worst fear when I finally found out I was adopted, that I knew that my parents the whole time and never got a chance to see him. And my adopted father made sure I lived out that fear. So, you know, that's really something I have to heal from, to know that things happen for a reason. I try not to cast blame on them, even though they are to blame. But if I'm going to heal, I can't keep on doing that. You know, I have to let that go. But it's just, you know, it's just really hard for a person to lose a family member like that, and knowing you are always having this connection, but somebody constantly tried to tear that apart. So, you know, anytime somebody listens to a song, you know, and they love my dad that much, it's very hard for them to listen to. But when you really hear, you know, the true meaning behind that situation, it's even worse. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. You know, my bad if I messed up a little bit at the bottom, but, you know, nobody's perfect. You know, my dad's like, stop trying to be perfect. And I said, you're a perfectionist. I'm trying to be like you. So he was just like, you felt it, you loved it. That's all that matters. You know, as long as you're in that connection, because like I told y'all before, I always dreamed, that was my biggest fantasy, to always make sure, you know, me and my dad connected like that, be on stage and sing together. So this is like my virtual way of doing that. So much love to y'all. Peace and be wild.